hand over Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this. I don't know if anyone else even spends that much time on Twitter, but I got into like Bitcoin and a lot of the action happens on Twitter. There's like a huge Bitcoin Twitter and you get a lot of information and it keeps you really up to date. These Bitcoin cunts are on it. So I started spending a lot more time on Twitter about like 2 years ago. And mostly my Twitter's Bitcoin, but fucking there's a few stray bullets that come through. And I don't know what's happened in like the last 3 months. Maybe it's even less. Maybe it's the last 2 months or something. But every single person on Twitter seems fucking insane now. It's like the asylum in there. You get in there and fucking UFC fighters are calling people faggots, which is hilarious. Half the people hate the Jews in there, say the Jews did 9/11. I don't know if I want to scratch that too deep, find out a few more things, but you know, they're throwing that out there. Then the other half are like, fuck Hamas and Muslims and the Palestinians, bomb Iran. Then the one half is like fully racist against black people. It's just like black people stealing and breaking into shit videos and beating up fucking white people in the street. And then the other half are like white people are evil. And then fucking you got like cunts like Jordan Peterson just screaming into the abyss about trans. And then you've got fucking Alex Jones posting a photo of Michelle Obama with a big fat boner. Not even a boner, just a big fucking schlong. Just a cartoon depiction of Michelle Obama with a big dick under her dress. And Alex Jones has just posted it and said, Happy Mother's Day to Big Mike. So you don't know what to believe. You're like, well, fucking Alex Jones isn't just going to throw that out there, is he? Like, he's not going to talk about America getting dragged into the Civil War by the elites and then blow it all on fucking Michelle Obama's dick. So that's out there as well on Mother's Day. And then you've got like, it's just chaos in there. Then you've got that fucking new guy coming in, Nick Fuentes. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but he's at war with Ben Shapiro and just about every Jew on the planet. He seems pretty racist, but he also has a few good points. So I don't know what's going on with Fuentes. He just sort of like re-emerged or something. I don't even know who the fuck he is. So he's out and about. Elon Musk is like the fucking ringleader of the fucking nut show. He's a complete fucking retard as well. I don't know whether it's just my algorithm or is everyone feeling this at the moment. And the thing is, you step away from it for 1 second and you're like, oh, it's not real. None of it's real. The only thing that is real is the economies of the world are fucking tanking. And Twitter's got to be the distraction. I don't think it's healthy. I know it's not healthy. I'm seriously coming to the point where I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth being on social media anymore. I feel like I'm just going to go, fuck it, delete, or maybe not delete, but just stop using social media, go back to a Nokia, still release the podcast, interact with the people on Patreon, but just stay the fuck away from social media. I don't really need it anymore. I did need it for the Bitcoin shit, but my Bitcoin strategy is hold it forever. So I don't really need updates or anything like that. I just need to hold it forever. It's just a nightmare in there. It induces mental illness 100%. It's almost doing the exact same thing as the mainstream media does. You go watch the news and half an hour later you're going to be depressed because it's just fucking war, crime, cost of living, property prices, immigrants, It's just chaos. And then you go on Twitter now, and it's exactly the same thing. Crime, war, cost of living, immigrants. It's exactly the same thing. This is why the system needs to be replaced completely. The move from mainstream media, from TVs and like commercial television, to like the alternative media that ends up being the mainstream media anyway, it wasn't a systemic change. It was just a delivery change. It was a format change and a little bit of different information coming in. But it's turned out over time, the results are more or less the same. The only difference is you get a little bit more access to knowledge, or what seems to be knowledge. You have to fact check everything. So I feel like in my very, very near future, I'm just going to go real humble. Just do the podcast every day, do the Degeni Diaries every week, work on my stand-up. That's my job. That's all I need to do. And the rest of it is just dedicated to family, being outside, not being distracted all the fucking time, not living in this fucking weird mental illness online. I think it's going to happen because I really don't give a fuck anymore. It's just a distraction. I need to be on my cushion fucking meditating, integrating what happened on the ayahuasca. I've got love to spread. Like, it's fucked. Anyway, subscribe to the podcast. But anyway, it's Monday and we all know what that means. It's Ask Boyle time. So if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation, comedian, philosopher, crane operator, Le Boyle, then head to my website, boylecomedy.com. Section there for Ask Boyle. Put your shit in, ask your question, and send it through. While you're there, make the transition off social media easier for me by joining the Patreon. You get access to all the Degeni Diaries, all the other bullshit I've done on it before. You get an opportunity to be interviewed by me. If you want to have a fucking chat, which has been fun. It's been fun for me. I've been loving the Degeni Diaries. All the feedback has been good. Everyone's stepped up as well. It's been great. So join the Patreon. It's £1 a month. You're doing it for a good cause. You're doing it for a great cause. It's better than charity. Anyway, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by my man Jeff Linder. And here's Jeffy's question. If you could go back to university, what would you study? And is it likely? I can't wait to go back to college when I'm done being a stay-at-home dad. Well, Lindy Chamberlain, you have come to the right place. Oh my God. I can tell you, like, the last few months, all I've been thinking about is, like, what alternative career could I do and still, like, remain sane? Like, never in my life up until recently, maybe like the last year or two, but never in my life before that had I wanted to do just a humble, menial job. I always wanted to be a superstar or famous or have attention and whatever, but I just don't care about that anymore. It all seems fucking gross to me now. Like the stars. Like, why? Like, why? Like, I know it's probably good. It's probably good. I don't know. I've never had a level of fame that has been detrimental to my life. Actually, my lack of fame has been detrimental to my life. But I think, like, as you grow older, and also, like, having kids and seeing behind the curtain of, like, the entertainment bullshit, especially with comedy. Well, only with comedy. You see how miserable every cunt is. No matter where you reach, you're always miserable the whole way. The fame, the money, and all that sort of stuff never brings you happiness. It might bring you a little bit of freedom if you stop doing it and just sit on your money, buy Bitcoin, and then ride out retirement. But it's the work outside all that you have to do on yourself. That's the important stuff. That's where like you'll find some sense of like contentment. I'm not like that young, needy dude that needs to be like the center of attention anymore. I love doing this podcast though. It's just me in my room, fucking just send it out. It's sweet. Easy, good, fun. Gets the whatever out. Whatever I need to get out, it gets it out. The adulation of strangers, I couldn't care less. I would like to build the podcast enough for freedom. That's why I want the Patreon. I just want my fucking freedom. That's it. But back to your question. For the first time in my life, I've just been like thinking of like a career that I could just do. I was speaking to John Doerr about it last night. I was like, I feel like I could be like an electrician now. No problems. Just be an electrician, do the job, get the job done, come home, muck around with the kids, go to bed at like 9:30, wake up the next morning. Just the easy life. Sparkies will be like, no, it's hard. Shut up, Sparkies. You don't know shit. But doing something like that locks you into a place, which is a nightmare. Like just to do an apprenticeship's 4 years. So you're stuck there for 4 years and you got to have a job. I suppose you got a contract, whatever. So I'm not that into the idea of that. But if I was to go back to university, for starters, like if I was to go back to university right now, you got to look at what the fuck AI is going to do to just about every single fucking job. A lot of careers are in big fucking trouble. In the next 5 years, AI is just going to fucking ratchet up exponentially. Then it's going to combine with robotics and everyone's fucked. So you would have to be very careful on what you fucking chose as a job. Like, are you doing a university course to get a career or are you doing it to indulge in learning? I don't know. That's what I've been thinking. I'm like, for starters, universities, they're going to be a thing of the past eventually. In the not too distant future, there's going to be free education because everything will go online and people will eventually be like, why the fuck am I paying for a YouTube course? Why am I paying $5,000 a semester when 90% of this is just online shit? And there's heaps of alternatives to university now that are just free anyway. Just look into it. Look into the Saylor Academy. It's free education by Michael Saylor, the guy who owns MicroStrategy, the biggest holder of Bitcoin in the world. He has a free accredited university online. You can learn about anything on it. Bitcoin, history, logic, programming, all sorts of shit. I don't know if you get the full university courses for free online, but you definitely get enough courses to get your credit that you can add it to a university course. So the Saylor Academy is fucking great. I started doing a couple of courses on it. I did Bitcoin and economics. Well, I haven't really started the economics one, but Austrian economics. That's something that I'm very interested in, is economics and history now. I would love to learn more about history and the way economics is played into shit that's happened throughout history. It seems you can't really separate what has happened throughout history economically with most events. So that's something I'd love to indulge in leisure time. Just sit down 4 or 5 hours a day, just read about history and shit. I don't think I need to do a university degree for that, but that is a lot of my interest at the moment. revolves around like macroeconomics and history. Aside from that, fucking, if you're just going for like a career change, if you want a job, you got to get into like AI or cybersecurity or robotics or something like that. All the nerdy shit that I have no idea about. Like just about everything is going to be replaced. Doctors at last will be obsolete. Like when AI really starts fucking gearing in, we're at year 1 of AI. And it's almost insane what's happening now. It happens exponentially as well. We're at the bottom of the start of the curve, exponential curve at the bottom. It's just turning. It gets vertical soon and it just doubles exponentials all the way up. It's going to get insane. You're not going to need doctors, accountants, graphic designers, comedians, fucking... You're not going to need a lot of humans. My wife was telling me that like just about every single person at work uses Chat GPT. So basically AI is already working with itself through like a human interface. It's just AI talking to each other, but it's passed through human beings. It's already been inverted. So I don't know if I would go back to university to get a degree because you can just read books. There's every single book ever written available for free on the internet. So it doesn't matter. You just fucking voraciously read and you're going to learn shit. Just follow your whims, your interests. I would choose something. What would I choose? I mean, I still do like comedy. It is satisfying being able to do shit with your hands. So some sort of like building, but like proper. Become like a dude that can build shit. But I don't mean like to make money off property or whatever. Who gives a fuck about that? Just make something with your hands, something of beauty. That's cool. I like that idea. But I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to continue doing the podcast. That's about it. I'm fucking locked in. That's me. It's done. Thanks for your question, Jeffo. We're fucking approaching 5 years in a few days. It's been a fucking while. It's been a long time. Anyway, that'll fucking do it for today, and I'll see ya the fuck later.